teacher in the room who's been teaching today, because I come from school, but I teach in the North West, and the strikes, we were the first of the regional strikes. And it was lovely coming here to actually see the stickers, obviously from marches and demonstrations on the streets. That, you know, it's really critical that we pick up the day-to-day lives of ordinary people and actually articulate the demands of those people. We say what those people are saying amongst themselves, but never ever hear from the Labour Party and never ever hear from even many of the trade union leaders. We have to say we want a decent school for every kid, and we want the education that they're taught there to be child-friendly and to be conducted to them growing as whole people. Michael Gove is a torturer of kids. It is impossible to think of our schools being a decent place for our kids in a few years' time unless things change. But we've also seen, as Kate said, that the Tories are winning, and they're winning in the cruelest and the crudest of ways. They are taking from the weakest in our society. They're going into our grandparents' homes and taking their homes in the bedroom tax. I was born and grew up in a council house. My mum still lives there. We thought that when we had that house, it was ours. It was a family home, that we had a right to a tenancy there as long as we paid the rent. My kids slept at my mum's house every Friday for the whole of their growing up. That they had their bedroom in their nan's house. And as an educator, I'll tell you, there's a clear link between education progress and the links with the grandparents. Separate a child from its elders and the education service doesn't work. We need an end to that cruel and vicious bedroom tax. I had a story the other day from a friend who works in the CAB in Toxteth in Liverpool about a man that had had his benefits sanctioned and came in and said to her, "I've just been to the food bank. I had to take it back. I haven't got the money to pay for the electricity to cook it." I heard that repeated on the radio this morning as well. Poverty is back. The number of children teachers have said that they're feeding. I'm a special needs coordinator. One of my first interventions is the bacon butty intervention. Feed the little so-and-so and see if that makes them behave better. And it works, and they really appreciate it. We've got to realise how bad the situation has been. It infuriates me when I hear people say that argue amongst the left and they're just not noticing how damn bad it is. Our schools are going. The free school report that was out today indicates something of how bad things can be. The health service has been and is being privatised. We know that there'll be times in the future we'll take our families to A&E and they won't be treated properly. We know that's happening. We know that they have attacked people who cannot possibly earn their living and yet are paid for their social insurance. They've been made to live in absolute penury, and many have died from it. That's the situation we face. And I go back personally, not to the situation even when we stood and fought in Liverpool, because the enemy we face today is 1,000 times worse than the enemy we fought there. What I go back to is a situation that my mum tells me of my grandparents, and more particularly my great-aunts, who fought first of all for the right to have family planning, to actually have contraception. My auntie opened one of the first family planning clinics in Liverpool. Two terrible people saying how bad it would be. And then another auntie helped set up the trade union movement. We need a party that will articulate the views and needs of working people in their communities. We need to say to every person who agrees with us, you can contribute and your contribution can be crucial. We don't know who it is that will come to us with the best ways of winning this fight. We're not sure, we're certainly not winning it now. We need new people to come and talk and organise and help and articulate their views. We need to build a working class party, and one that recognises that the majority of industrial workers in this world are women. To separate the women from the working class is impossible. We need to see the violence against women as part and parcel of daily life. It has to change, and to say it can wait is ridiculous. This platform has to be a feminist platform. It has to stand with women and stand with the children. One feminist wrote that you really can tell whether a party or an organisation is serious if it speaks of the children and recognises the needs of the children. We have to be a party that's feminist and in favour of the children. And we need to go out and say to everyone who supports those ideas, come and join us. You don't have to agree with everything. Just link up with us and organise. And to our trade union speaker, it's not just a general strike we need. We need to have every activist out on the streets recruiting people to join the unions. The unions are growing slowly. On the 5th of November, my trades council is going out early morning, before most people are going to work, to leaflet with them to say, join a union. Fight back, join a union. And if the union's useless, kick it up the backside and make it do something that it should be doing. We need a party that actually says to people there's no easy answer. There's a poem by Yevtushenko that says, telling lies to the young is wrong. Tell them the difficulties can't be counted. Tell them of the situation that we face. It's not going to be easy, but unless we actually do start fighting back, the situation facing the next generation is going to be terrible. Will Hutton said that young people now, the chances of young people getting to university, except from the wealthiest of homes, is going down and down. It's going to be 45,000 probably, just in tuition fees, and then any other debts. It's not going to happen. I'm the product of the welfare state. Was born in a council house, born in the NHS, educated in the post-war boom. First of my family to university. We have got to win back some of that optimism, some of that ability to fight back to people. But we're not saying it just as a populist party. We actually have to say to people, the world we live in is shaped by what goes on in China, by the working class struggles in China, the working class struggles in Bangladesh, the working class struggles across the world. We're not separate, we're not apart from it, we can't be apart from it. What's happening in Africa today with the gross and terrible poverty is linked with the way that the companies that employ our people are actually exploiting that continent. There has to be a link across the working class of the world. Millions of people are in trade unions in India. The women, I happen to keep in contact with the Women Workers Helpline in Pakistan, who are organising women who work at home into trade unions. This has to be an internationalist struggle. An internationalist, a feminist struggle, and one that takes up the issues also of environmental problems. I live in an area where there's going to be fracking. The machines are already there. We know it's there, but think about fracking. They're digging deep into the earth. If they just used a slightly different technology, they don't need to bring up gas. They can use the geothermal energy to heat the whole area, and it's got no side effects. But it's not happening because of the fact we live under capitalism, and we have to be a fundamentally anti-capitalist programme. There's a slogan that we're not fighting the crisis of capitalism, we're fighting for the end of capitalism, and we really need to make sure that that's clear. So what I'm saying is we're going back to even before maybe the founding of the Labour Party. We need to organise in the communities, and we need to organise in the workplaces. We need to tell people it's going to be damn hard, but there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people people out there who share these ideas. If they think we're serious, they'll come and join us. We need to be saying to people, we're the people who are saying we want a housing programme, we want education back under local authority control, we want a decent income for everybody, we want people with proper trade union rights. That's what a left party should be saying, and it should be saying it not just in the media, it should be saying it in the streets and in the organisations of the local communities, and it needs to be organised from the grassroots up, and we need to make it really clear that if we fail, the cost of failing at this moment will be that we will not have a health service, we will not have popular education, we'll be many, many more women battered. We have to say now that we need a left party, and we need to try and go out and win that. I'll leave it at that.